Hey guys, welcome to the Blueprint. This is a program that I've really been working on for about 4 years now. It was a book that I set out to write back in 2004, and I worked on it for a long time as a pet project. Everybody asked me, where is it, what's happening with it, and it's something that I guess I couldn't put out until now, because every time that I learned something, I found something else that I didn't know, and I went deeper and deeper into it, learned new things, and was able to enrich myself and hopefully able to enrich the people that learn from it. Now look, this is a program that, unlike a lot of other things that you learn, is not about ego-based learning, all right? So unlike most programs where, that anyone would do, where we're trying to teach you, this special idea or that special idea, and maybe every idea that you get makes you feel more enhanced, this is more a program about signposts. And it's about signposts that's leading you from a place of social conditioning over to a place of real self-esteem and real authenticity. And you'll understand more about what that means when you watch it, all right? So when you come at this, what I really want you to remember is that it's not about memorizing every little thing, but rather it's about finding that place inside yourself that this program is going to point you towards. Anyway, I want to thank you for coming and getting this program. You have my undying appreciation for it. I hope that you enjoyed as much as I did making it. Thank you so much. How you guys doing? Good. Good. I'm Tyler from Real Social Dynamics. Welcome to the Blueprint Decoded Super Conference. This is a big weekend for you guys. It's going to be huge. You guys awake? You guys going to have a good time today?
Hell yeah!
Yeah? Okay. Nice. Nice. So you guys must be wondering, 4 days. 4 days? What were you thinking? What were you thinking? How am I going to fill up 4 days? Okay, this is all me. All right, no guest speakers. All right, there's no guest speakers coming up here. This is me. Just me and you guys. One big happy family for 4 days. All right, and what am I going to talk about? What am I going to cover today? Well, look, let me introduce it like this. I was thinking just actually as I woke up this morning how once you reach one goal, the natural tendency, whether it's healthy or not, who knows, is to always want more. Okay? And when I first started doing this, my goals were very, 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 very modest. You guys might know my story. Just to recover very simply. My girlfriend dumped me when I was about something like 20 years old. I went into a massive tailspin of depression. I was totally lost and confused. I almost failed out of school that year, which crushed my dreams to go to grad school as a philosophy major. And I was just finished. So I thought, you know what? I need to get a new girlfriend. How am I going to get a new girlfriend? I'm going to go out and try to approach 5 women a day until I get a new girlfriend. Of course, that built up and built up and built up. After a while, I actually found out, whoa, look, you can get a skill set at this. You can actually learn something. You could actually have this not just, by approaching lots of women, finally get a girlfriend. You could actually get this as a skill. So I kept going. But here's what drove me nuts. And I want you guys to tell me if anyone here has had the same experience as this. On one night, you could be the man. Okay, you could be incredible. You could be like, we have a lot of jokes in RSD, the Lord. All right? Okay, we have a lot of joke terms like that. You could be the Lord. But what if it's a mediocre night? What if it's a bad night? Well, on a bad night, you are not only not the Lord, but you are the biggest chode in the club. Right? And you're not just the biggest chode in the club, like by a little bit. You are like at least normally the biggest chode in the club would just be kind of like, whatever, maybe, got his drink up, like that. Okay? But not, because you're like, hey guys. Oh. Hey guys. Okay, right? And you just go home, you're like, oh man. Right? And it feels like everybody in that club had a great night except you. Then you have mediocre nights, you have a wide different range of nights. And you could be using the exact same lines, you could be saying the exact same things, you could even be doing it the exact same way. But there's all these different variables that you're not aware of that are causing you not to be consistent. And this drove me nuts. I'll tell you my perspective, which is not the same situation that you guys exist in, but you could see how coming from this perspective, it would drive you to the length that I went to. I was running Real Social Dynamics, so I've been running that since I was 22 years old. That was the job that I came up with in college because I was totally screwed. So I was broke with no money. So we built Real Social Dynamics. And you know, I was getting a level of success. I was doing the boot camps, getting success. But the thing was, the boot camps were new back then. So you guys see this as the big flourishing business that it is now. You know, you guys see it before the, you know, the old days, back when I used to sleep in a walk-in closet, back when I used to sleep on people's floors, back when we used to go from city to city and not having any idea how we would get to the next city because we had no money. All right? This was the old days. We wanted to grow this and build this. And on some nights, I could do incredible approaches. I could meet women. I could get all those great results that you guys want, all that, you know, we don't need to be too explicit about it, but basically, I could get the great results. But on other nights, I sucked. And this drove me pretty much insane because I always felt like I had something to prove. I always felt like I was trying to prove myself. And coming from a frame of trying to prove yourself has got to be the most outcome attached, right? Like totally needing the outcome. Not even needy for the girl at this point, but just needing that outcome so badly. And it just kills your whole, you know, your game just sucks whenever you're coming from that kind of a frame. So then things got even more messy when I had things like, you know, a Rolling Stone reporter following me around. I had all sorts of different media on me, and I was continually paranoid. Could I be this guy with incredible skills with women, you know, in front of all these different people? So what I wanted was consistency. That is what I really wanted, and it eluded me completely for about the first 3 years working on this stuff. Just completely eluded me. I did not really have the level of consistency that I wanted. And to be honest, it was kind of an identity crisis. And I don't know, have you guys ever experienced that? It's like, am I this big pimp? Am I a chode? What am I? Have you guys ever gone through that? Yeah? You know, you've seen that kind of, you know, like that sort of, you haven't experienced quite that. You haven't quite had that click yet where you don't need to think about it anymore. Maybe you still need to go out to the club and do a warm-up. Maybe you're sitting, maybe you're sitting by yourself having a bite to eat, and you see a girl that you want to go talk to, and you feel like you have to put on your pickup persona in order to like snap out of it and go over and talk to her. You know, maybe you see a girl who you just find to be exceptionally attractive, is the kind of girl you really want to meet, and you feel more pressure. Any of these kinds of things. And that really drove me nuts. Because it's funny, on one level, when I first got into this stuff, just being completely confused, not having any chance with women, pretty much repelling any woman that I met as far away from me as humanly possible, then going to the level where, you know, I could meet girls and I could have a level of success. I thought that that was it. I thought that that was what I really wanted. But goals evolve. I bet a lot of you guys in here, you know, you've gotten that initial level of success. You've gotten even a high level of success. But you want that identity level change. You want it to be not something you're doing, but something you are. All right? And that's the first theme of this program that I'm going to introduce to you guys, is being successful with women, you know, being attractive to women is not something you do, it's something you are. All right? And another way of looking at that is being, not doing. So if you guys want to think of a theme for this program, think about it like being, not doing, all right? So that you can reach a point where you walk up to a woman and you don't feel like you're doing anything, you're just being. And therefore you don't have a lot of those, you know, identity issues, you don't get that approach anxiety, nothing like that, all right? Now see, this is an advanced program, all right? This is probably, well, it's not probably, this is absolutely the most advanced program that we've ever run. If you're a newbie, you should be really happy. Why? Because you're going to have a really healthy, solid, really awesome set of principles drilled into you right from the start. If you're intermediate, this is what's going to get you thinking to becoming a real natural. And if you're advanced, this is what's going to allow you to get that full change that you're looking for. Now let me say another thing. The seminar that I'm doing this weekend, as utterly bizarre as this sounds, it's really basically done almost in almost like a secret code. And what that means is that you're not meant to understand any more than the level that you're at to go to the next level the first time that you watch this and look at the principles behind it. I've done that very intentionally. Okay? So what I mean is this. This is not one of those seminars where I'm like, 10 funky steps to getting what you want. Step 1, clean your car. Right? Step 2, get a breath mint. Okay? This is not that kind of a seminar. All right? We're going to be going really, really deep here. We're assuming an intelligent audience. No, there's no spoon feeding going on here. We're going to be going deeper than anything that you probably could have expected. When I do these things, I want to make this really clear. I spent 4 years writing the blueprint. Okay? 4 years, all right? 4 years, okay? I didn't do that for a commercial audience now, did I? I didn't do that to make people happy. I wrote the blueprint for myself, and only myself. These are the principles that I needed to learn to distill it for my own self, all right? And that's what makes it what it is. This was like me, frustrated and confused and wanting to hit like a complete identity level change. I wanted to hit a point where it wasn't just success with women. I wanted like just social success and success with myself in general, where I could carry myself as a man and never have to be concerned about this stuff ever again. All right? I never wanted to have to think about approach anxiety ever again. I never wanted to have to think about performing ever again. I didn't want to have to think about trying to be something I'm not. All right? I wanted that centeredness, and I could not get it the old way that I was doing things, even though I was getting that initial level of success. So this was the direction that I took it in. All right? Now let me tell you guys a story. Okay? Let me tell you guys a story. And I want to say again, before we get going on that, this seminar, every time that you watch it, is going to make more sense to you. Okay? Every time that you come back to the principles that you learned here, it's going to hit you on a different level. What that means is, like, if you go out now, maybe the surface level principles are hitting you. In a year from now, the same principles that you learned here are going to take on a completely different meaning. And in 4 years from now, because that's about what it took me to work on all this stuff, it's going to have an entirely different meaning. And so if you think that you understood it now, we're going to go deeper and deeper and deeper every year that you come back to it. Because this is really about you. This is about your journey. Okay? This is about you guys. All right? Now look, let me go back to my story. So when we started this stuff, let me tell you a little bit about the history of this community, of this industry, this new phenomenon that's going on. You guys right now are at a real social dynamics seminar. Okay? It's a beautiful thing. We're sitting here in this nice hotel. We've got a good camera set up. We've got tables. If this was us a few years back, we would probably be hidden in some schoolroom or something that we snuck into. Probably you would have like bean bags to sit on or something, or not even that. We would run these things out of coffee cafes. We would run them out of people's houses that would let us run them. Okay, it was a small little thing. It was an underground thing. Okay, and how did I get to this position? Like, I'm sitting here. Like, how did my life come to this point? How did I get here? How did you guys get here? Where did this come from? Well, let me tell you a little bit about the history. This industry was started a long time ago, about 15 years ago. And back then, it was newer technology. It was newer sets of ideas, and ideas evolve, right? And I really give a lot of love and respect to everyone who's been involved in moving this body of knowledge forward. Even if I don't at all agree with the things that they taught, I completely respect everybody because they moved it forward. Without them paving the way, I wouldn't be where I'm at. They saved me the trouble of trial and error. Now, back then, the frame was kind of like, we're men, right? And we're pissed off. Okay? We're men and we're pissed off, right? We can't get hot girls, and they won't even give us the time of day. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to fuck them. Okay? Fuck the bitches. All right? And after we fuck them, fuck more of them. Okay? Make them pay. All right? That was kind of the frame that, 15 years ago said that things were, I mean, not totally, okay? I shouldn't say, that's a value judgment. It's not totally like that. And any community has a different range of people, and that's not necessarily the responsibility of any one person. Then things move forward, right? And we found out more ways. Basically, the assumption was this, and here's the basic assumption, as things move forward. The idea was, here's the gist of it. Here's the girl. That's called a pedestal, by the way. Okay? Here is the... I actually just had the horrid realization that G and G, girl and guy, is the same thing. So we'll call that a woman. Okay. All right. Okay. So, and here's the man, right? And he's got to find a way to get up there. That was the kind of frame that we were coming from, right? So we come up like, look, got little tricks. Okay? Got these tricks that we can use. And we can flip the script on them. Flip the script on these women, right? We'll show them. Okay? And that was the frame. When I was 22 years old, when I first found this stuff, as a guy who had only ever had sex with one girl, and basically every other woman had pretty much utterly rejected me on all levels, and I thought it was because they were mean, just girls were mean, that made a lot of sense to me. That was great, right? That made perfect sense. I wouldn't say I was like super pissed off or anything, but I'd say I was pretty much willing to go to any means necessary in order to get a girlfriend. If it made sense, let's do it, right? Now, fast forward, okay? Fast forward to now. What's the realization? And this is kind of what we're going to be talking about this weekend. This is all in your head. The shit's all in your head, guys. It's so in your head, it's not even funny. Okay? This is so in your head, it's not even funny. It's not accurate. It's just not true. And you think it's true because you're thinking, here's probably what you're thinking, right? You're thinking, because this is how I've thought for years. She's a beautiful girl. She's gorgeous. She's socially proof. Guys want her. She looks great. I'm an average-looking guy. Maybe, not particularly wealthy, not particularly good-looking. This is easy. I mean, the math is real simple here, right? I'm there, and she's there. That's got to be what it is, right? That has got to be what this is. The truth is, it's all in your head. It is so in your head, it is not even funny. And as simple of an epiphany as this, that in reality, you're here. Is the start of the blueprint. This doesn't have to make sense yet, by the way. Anyway, this was an interesting industry. You guys know me as Tyler, right? Some of you might know me as Tyler Durden, which is the character from Chuck Palahniuk's novel Fight Club. Back in the day, there was this forum. There was an underground forum on dating and meeting women. So my story was basically after my girlfriend brutally dumped me and left me confused and helpless, which, by the way, entirely deserved, but at the time I didn't understand. I just thought she was really mean. I started approaching 5 women a day. It was actually about a year, and after about a year in of trying to recuperate, I started approaching 5 women a day, just thinking that I could get a girlfriend. Anyway, eventually I went onto the internet and I found different internet forums. And these were underground forums that would discuss this topic, and it was great because there was all these people who knew tons and tons of stuff about it. Now the internet forums were funny because people had all sorts of funny names like Zippity Dragon or like Psycho Man, stuff like that. So I thought I'll pick Tyler Durden, my favorite movie character, right? So that's what I picked. My real name is Owen Cook. Okay, and you guys can call me Owen whenever you want. But I'm known as Tyler now because there's an entire brand awareness built around that name these days. And I go by both. Okay, I respond to both. Anyway, look, we built that up. We started traveling. We started doing these programs. Okay, getting a certain level of success. Better success, to be honest, than anyone that I had ever personally met at the time. And I was thrilled with it. I was happy. But then what started to happen was 2004 hit. And in 2004, suddenly this industry started to get a lot of attention. Every other day, I had a reality TV show contacting me, trying to create a reality TV show about being a pickup artist. Most of them were just, people that claimed that they were friends with the guy that made the show Survivor. Most of them, they really didn't. Most of them were a joke, but some of them are pretty legit offers. Then, of course, you had, different books being written on the industry that had a possibility of going mainstream. And there was all this different press that was starting to come in on the industry. Why? Because the industry itself is somewhat of an oddity. It's a very bizarre looking industry from an outsider's perspective. And so obviously it's just something to kind of look at and go, oh my God, these guys do that? Right? And people love that. People love a train wreck, people love drama, all that kind of stuff. And there was all sorts of interest. People love to learn how to pick up girls, right? Like, all these different magazines and stuff. So basically, there was all sorts of media coming down. Now this left me in a state of paranoia. Because I was like, look at this. I have all these great pickup lines, all these great pickup tactics. These are really good. They're working. I've gotten girlfriends. I have actually seen a woman, like a random stranger on the street, approached her and had success with her. Wow. Okay? And now, it's going to become the what's your sign of the new millennium. All this stuff is going to be so played. All right? My friend Oljai has a song. He goes, sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your game. Right? And see, the thing is, look, we're seeing this, and we're going, what are we going to do? We're screwed. We're done. Right? Because this is going to get so popular. Look, maybe it won't, maybe it will. I don't really know. Who knows? Who knows what will happen? But if it does, we're done. And you know what? Even if it doesn't, now we're walking around paranoid indefinitely, always trying to hoard it to ourselves and stuff like that. These lines and stuff like that. And I didn't like that. I could not tell you how much more incongruent that made me feel compared to when I first started today talking about how you feel like some nights you're doing good and some nights you're not doing so good. Well, just this extra factor made me feel entirely even more incongruent than I did before. Let me tell you. It drove me nuts. So I made a choice at that time. I had a meeting with my entire staff. I sat down my entire staff, this big house we used to live in Los Angeles, sat them down. I said, look, we've got to become natural. We've got to go natural 100%. And of course, they just laughed at me. Right? They said, you want us to be like chodes? You want us to do what chodes do? Like, hey, what's your name? What do you do? Where are you from? What's that like? And I said, look, I don't know. I don't really know how we're going to do it. But I do know that if we keep doing it based on this model, if we keep going in that direction, and we keep meeting women using a lot of different pickup lines and pickup tactics, we're never going to become naturals because we've been doing this for several years now, and I haven't become a natural yet, and that's not going to happen. So I said, look, we need to test it. We need to find out. We need to test it. I said, look, we're going to take 2 weeks off. I'm not even kidding. I couldn't even make this stuff up, okay? So I gave the whole staff, which, by the way, we were already about $250,000 in debt in our business at that time. I gave the whole staff 2 weeks off and said, we're just going to comb the city and just approach women as being naturals and just see what we could learn. And we're going to start this process now. And it's probably going to be a long road. And believe me, it was a lot longer than I thought it would take. This is going to take a long time to figure out, but we're going to start it now. And I went out that night. I went out to the Standard in Los Angeles and the Saddle Ranch. And I saw the first girl. And I said, okay, I'm going to approach this totally natural. What am I going to say? I was like, you know what, we'll make a joke out of it. I'll just do the most chody thing I could think of. I'll give her a compliment. Okay, most chody thing I could think of. So I walked up. I said, hi. I can't remember what it was. You're so adorable, so cute, something. My name's Owen. And she actually responded well. But here's what was interesting. She responded well, and it was actually pretty good. But what I noticed was, and you guys may notice this yourselves, as I sat there, my heart started to pound, right? And there was all these little autopilot responses going off in my mind, like, say this to her, now say this to her, now say this to her. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. And then here's what really freaked me out, and this is what really set me on this path hard. I couldn't even make this up. My knees actually started to shake. Okay? So my knees started to go like this. Have you guys ever seen Looney Tunes? Where like it goes like that? I thought that was like a joke, right? I thought it was like one of those just arbitrary things like his knees are shaking. Okay, that's what I thought it was. No, my knees started shaking. Okay? I don't know if this was a reaction from watching Looney Tunes when I was a kid or something, but my knees started like that, and I was like that. And then, you know what my epiphany was? Something is wrong with me. Something is really wrong here. Something is terribly, terribly wrong. That if I'm walking up to a woman, and I mean at this point, look, at this point I'd been approaching women about 1,000 days straight. Okay? This was about, you guys ever heard of the 30-day challenge before, where you go out 30 days in a row to work on your skills with women? I did the 1,000-day challenge at this point. Okay? I had been out 7 nights a week. You couldn't keep me in the house. Okay? I had to go out. I would, if I had to stay in the house, I would just go nuts. I would go insane. I had to go out. I just loved it. Okay? I loved it so much. I still do. So, I'm on like the 1,000-night challenge. At this point, women were no problem, you know, on that kind of level. I certainly wasn't experiencing those kinds of emotions. And yet here I was, talking to a girl who liked me. The girl likes me, and I'm sitting there, and my knees are going like this. And here's the realization that I had. And by the way, the next few approaches I did were very similar to that. And I had to bail out usually after about 2 or 3 minutes. What I realized was all of the tactics that I had been learning were like a shell over the old me, and nothing internally had actually changed, even in spite of having success. Nothing internal. There had been no shift there. I mean, I shouldn't say nothing, because when I first started, I probably couldn't have even lasted 3 minutes. So maybe a little bit had changed. But for the most part, I was not the man I thought I was. Let's put it to you that way. I thought I was like this big pimp, you know, and clearly I was not the man that I thought I was. And there was something that was going on there. And we're going to talk a lot about that later, and about how your concepts of reality work, and why for me to go up to a girl and just approach normally was so opposing my concept of reality at that point that my mind couldn't accept it. And we'll talk more about that later. All right? But anyway, look. I brought on the team. I got us all doing that, okay? I got us all going out. Started working on that. Started getting the hang of it. Started making new distinctions. It was slow. All right? It was very slow at first. At first, it was just a matter of going out there, being natural, and just not being terrified. It was a slow process, guys. Eventually, I just stuck at it, okay? I really stuck at this. I made a commitment to it. Had all sorts of issues. I had all these great... I'd be talking to the girl thinking, man, I could... Like, you don't even know that I could get you, because I have all these tactics. You don't even know, right? And I would just sit there, but I'm like, no, I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to use it, right? And I stuck at it. Okay? And started coming up with different principles. Started making new distinctions that were completely different. Now, I want you guys to really think about this. Look, when you have a model, okay, when you have a model of how things work, here's like maybe the foundation, right? Here's where how you think it works. And then you have all these different like principles. Okay? So the principles make sense within the model, like the foundational assumptions and stuff like that, right? So for example, if this is a foundation, if this is like a foundation of how you think that women are above you, then everything that you're going to look for from that point on is going to lead to that conclusion. You're going to keep finding more and more evidence to support that conclusion, aren't you? If you believe that women are here and you're there, you will continually find evidence to support that conclusion. And you'll have blind spots to anything that falls outside of that. So look, when you take this away, all this stuff is nixed out as well. We had to come up with entirely new principles. The blueprint took me a long time to write because, look, at first I started writing the book, but then I had to let it sink in. All right, I had to redo everything from scratch, basically. Let it sink in. Go out, teach it to people, see where they get confused on it. Right? I've had the blueprint book written for like 4 years. You guys see my writing capacity. I write an average of several thousand pages of content a year. To write a couple 100-page book I could do in a couple weeks, easily, if not maybe a couple days. So the thing was, though, was I had to keep teaching it to people, seeing where they're getting confused, keep experimenting with it. I've been experimenting with this body of knowledge now for several years. Okay? Teaching it every single weekend on live programs, seeing where it confuses people, seeing where people are getting it, seeing how to make it work, until we've gotten to the point now where the boot camp has gotten out of control. Okay, who here's taking a boot camp? Okay, would you guys say out of control is a good word? Okay, the boot camps are out of control. All right, it's to the point now where it is obnoxious because a lot of the time guys can come in with virtually no level of success and just get insane results so quickly. And the reason why is because we're using the types of principles that I'm going to teach to you guys. All right, the reason why the principles that we're going to teach you guys are so raw and so underground and just so like bang, 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 bang is simply because we've taught them every single weekend. Look, to make something really work, like when I teach a boot camp, for example, to make it really work, I'm always thinking of it like a puzzle. And there's different pieces of the puzzle that I'm trying to make fit into your reality, right? I'm trying to go, is that going to fit in his reality? No. Okay. Try it like this. No. Okay. Try it like this. And then it goes click. And then here's the next piece of the puzzle. It's like, click. And then once everything just kind of goes click, you see the guy just kind of hit state. Boom. He goes into state. And from there, his results just go like that immediately. All right? It's a very fast kind of thing. And what the blueprint was, in many ways, was me trying to find the pieces of the puzzle to make it fit into my own reality. Trying to make this stuff fit into my world. Trying to make this stuff click in a way where I could say, yeah, that makes sense. And then I could give myself permission to do the things that I know worked. All right? Because, you know, most of us in this room, we already know how to be successful with women, but you just don't give yourself permission to do so. The blueprint is basically about becoming the sex-worthy guy. Who here's seen Transformations? A couple of you guys enjoy that? This is a shit audience. I'm not going to talk anymore if you guys aren't going to do that. Yeah. Okay. You guys enjoy Transformations? Yeah. Clearly you had to, that's like a gimme because you wouldn't be here if you didn't enjoy Transformations. You'd be like, these guys suck and it'd just be done. Okay? Alright, okay? Okay, here look. Let's do audience practice, okay? Tyler says joke. Okay? You guys having fun?
Yeah!
Okay? Alright. You guys having fun?
Yeah!
Alright? Joke. Oh, that was fucking bullshit, that last one. Come on! Alright, look, this is about your experience, not mine. Okay? It's about your experience. You can say, okay, this is 4 days, yo. 4 days! Right? Yeah, so look, okay, you guys saw Transformations. You guys seen Tim's speech where he says, the sex-worthy man, right? He talks about the chode, the entertainer man, and then he talks about the sex-worthy guy. All right? That's the guy who is not just going out doing approaches and, you know, the girl giggles for a bit, and to other guys it appears good. Okay? Because isn't that a funny thing? In a lot of ways, the tactics that we've learned in this community has created a situation where a guy who's not really getting success with women can go out and make his other guy friends appear that he's getting incredible success with women. Alright? Who here's at a level now, and I was for a long time, so I want to just see, who here's at a level where to your guy friends, you look like the biggest pimp they've ever seen, but you're still looking for that next level yourself. You know you're not there yet. Who's in that kind of phase? Yeah, see, very, very common. It is incredibly common. Because look, if we teach you how to do an approach and how to make a girl laugh, that looks incredible. Most guys cannot do that, can they? They can't do it. But when it comes time to seal the deal, that's a different story now, isn't it? Because you know what? From attraction to the close, it's only maybe one last mile. But that's a long last mile if you don't know how to run it. Okay? That's one confusing last mile if you don't know how to make that happen. And that's why whenever I teach a boot camp, and by the way, the reason I talk about boot camps a lot, that's my life. I want to make that clear. My life is teaching boot camps. That's what I do. Okay? Every weekend I teach boot camps, and then if I'm not teaching boot camps, I'm in front of the computer working and managing the company. So basically, boot camps is the only fun that I have almost. All right? So I talk about boot camps a lot. Now look, when I teach a boot camp, I'm not looking to teach a guy how to get a girl entertained. Entertaining a girl is fine. Sometimes when girls, or sometimes when guys, if you guys hear, okay, don't be the entertainer guy, and you're like, oh man, I'm entertaining her, I better stop. Okay? I'm not saying that. Alright? I'm not saying that! You can entertain! But you have to be amusing yourself, alright? We call that self-amusement as opposed to trying to push buttons. We'll go more into that later. Anyway, look, anything that we're teaching here, the goal is to be the sex-worthy guy. The blueprint assumes the basic knowledge, okay? I'm assuming you've seen foundations. I'm assuming that you've probably seen transformations. And look, if you haven't, you can go back and see them. We've got a great free 2-hour audio that's floating around as well off the homepage. That can teach you how to do approaches. This is not about how to do an approach, okay? We covered that. Okay, we did that one already. This is a new one. Anytime I do a program in general, we're talking new content. I'm going to cover new areas. I'm not going to rehash the same thing. Inevitably, that's going to piss a few people off because they're like, oh, but how do I do all this stuff? Like, what's your line? What's the pickup line? How do I approach? I'm like, yo, we covered that 5 years ago. Okay, so the thing is, okay, and I respect that. Like, no, I love newbies. Like, don't get me wrong. If you don't know this stuff, during the breaks, ask around the audience, ask the other instructors that are here. They'll fill you in on stuff if you're behind. Don't panic. It's real straightforward stuff, okay? This is about that sex-worthy guy level, okay? This is about the being, not doing. This is about being successful with women is something you are, not something that you're doing, okay? You're not like, there's a girl. Now I have to feel like I need to be doing something, okay? It's not like that, all right? Okay? It's like, yo, this is me, okay? Boom. All right? That's what you're thinking, okay? The being. Like I said, don't go look, obviously everyone here is probably going to go this route initially because everyone makes mistakes, and I've made this mistake. Don't be paranoid if you're being entertaining, but this is not about teaching you how to entertain a girl. This is about teaching you to be the sex-worthy guy. The kind of guy who, look, being like really frank, what kinds of results could you expect if you get this stuff down? Pretty much a lifestyle, in terms of women, of total abundance. All right? Total abundance. What does that mean? It means that you can go out to a new city, meet a girl when you're there. No problem. All right? We have a guy. Is Dale here today? No? Dale's not here yet. Well, look. Dale's the guy who's taken the program with me out before, and then he came out and took a second one in Hawaii. He came to Hawaii for a week, and he had 3 different girls that week. All right? Great results, right? I see that, and you know what? It's like, look, he came into a new city. He met a girl. He had just been on a trip the week before. He was out in Chicago. He'd met a nice girl there. He'd been out, I think it was Miami. He met a nice girl there. All right? If he wants a girlfriend, because he probably will start thinking in that direction at some point, he has a choice from a lot of different women so he can meet the girl he likes. Did you guys know that I've been in a relationship for a while? Anyone know that? Yeah, I have a great relationship. And people say, wow, man, what's the secret to your success with your relationship? It's like, yo, I picked from among literally thousands upon thousands of girls the one that I wanted to date on a long term. Of course, it's going to be a good relationship, okay? Of course, all right? And look, there's a lot of great stuff I could teach you guys about relationships, but the point is that what I'm looking for here, look, it's very rare, okay? Isn't it funny how the perception of this community is like, a lot of people think that the guys are all out trying to like nail girl after girl after girl after girl. But the truth is, most guys here are looking for a girlfriend. The thing is, though, if you want to get a great girlfriend, you're not going to get that by, going to your, well, I don't want to basically offend a lot of ways that I think are utterly stupid. But basically, look, all the generic ways that most people do are completely stupid. They don't work, all right? You just have to look at the divorce rates in this country, anything like that. You can just see all that stuff. And there's a lot of other reasons for that. I'm oversimplifying. But look, if you guys want to live a lifestyle of abundance where the whole women issue is taken care of, that's the kind of stuff that we're looking to go into this weekend, all right? The full transformation, the deep identity level change, okay? So you guys remember the themes of this program, all right? Keep this in your head. Deep identity level change. Being, not doing. It's not something you do. It's something you are. It's been a long time, guys. This has been a long road to get here. But any guy that teaches with RSD is at a point where he can pretty much see the girl he wants to talk to, walk up, introduce himself with nothing pre-planned in his head, and probably do a pretty darn good job. All right? It's been a long road to get here. Now that we see it, it's so elusively simple, you could smack your head against the wall for not seeing it for all these years, but that's the level that we're talking about, and that's what we're looking to get to for you guys. All right? That's what we want here. Deep identity level change. Something that you are, not something that you do. Okay? Being, not doing. All right? Still involves going out, talking to lots of girls. Some guys get caught up in this. They go, well, I'm just being now, so I just go about my day and play Warcraft. All right? Okay? Right? Well, that's not what this is about. Look, all the principles that we've studied up until now hold true. All of it. All the principles still hold. Okay? You must go out. God, wow. Isn't that a funny one? Okay? Why is going out so important? It blows me away how many guys say, you know, I just can't figure out the sticking point to get to the next level. Really? Well, how much have you been going out lately? Well, I've been so busy, you know. Right? What? What? No. No. If you just go out, most of your sticking points autocorrect. They autocorrect. You don't even need help. But the thing is, a lot of guys think that. So look, you still got to go out. You still got to approach lots of people. You still got to be social. So I'm sorry about that, guys. If that bothers you, I hope it doesn't. Okay? Still got to be social, but we're coming from a different frame now. We're coming from the being, not doing frame. And it's a great frame. It's going to be amazing. And when you guys see the power of it. All right? So that's what this is about, guys. That's what the blueprint is about. Okay? Deep identity level change. And we're going to take you guys on a journey. Okay, this is an incredible journey because it's 4 days, guys. And the truth be told, I could have made this seminar 10 days. But we made it 4 days instead because I believe that after 4 days, people would go insane. So we had to compress it into 4 days. All right? You know, I've been rehearsing for this for over a year. All right. Anytime that I create, you know, a DVD program, I'll do rehearsal after rehearsal, typically for live audiences, to get it nice and streamlined. And it's funny because every rehearsal that I did at first, the first one was 2 days, and I didn't even know if I had enough material to cover 2 days. But after 2 days, I'd only covered about 20% of the book. Then I went to 3 days. And only covered like 20% of the book. Then I went to 4 days and only covered about 20% of the book. And the reason why was because there was so much to be taken out of there. All right? So many different epiphanies that I was having. Then we had to like reassemble it. All right? To be able to cover everything. But look, we're going to take you guys on a journey from social conditioning and the ego towards authenticity and self-esteem. All right? And these are like, you can think of it like a continuum. And over here you have social conditioning. And over here, authenticity. All right? Think of that. Most people in the world are on this side. And there's a few people in the world on this side here. Okay? And authenticity is a big word with a lot of grand claims around it. And I think for anyone to say, I am authentic, that's a bit cheesy. All right? And I'm not trying to come across like that. And I don't want you guys to try and come across like that. But look, we're going to take you guys on that journey, okay? What's involved in it, what it takes, that kind of direction. And this seminar is going to be very wax on, wax off, which means that the first day, I'm going to lay out a lot of principles for you guys. And you may walk away the first day saying, I have no idea what the hell this is about. What is this? I don't know. And I've seen that on the seminar. And the second day, we're going to lay out more principles. And again, wax on, wax off. You may not know how it's related to dating, or you might, okay? Depending on how much you've studied this type of stuff. But on the third day, all these building blocks that we're going to have laid out are going to start going whoosh, click, click, click. And the third day is typically where I start to see guys going like that. And then the fourth day, I'll leave that as a surprise, but it's fucking tight, all right? So that's what this seminar is going to be about, guys. Most people walk through the world in a walking daze. A trance. A walking daze, guys. That's the first principle that you need to understand. Okay? Most people in the world walk through life in a walking daze. Can you guys repeat that after me? Who? Take a pause. I'll teach you guys how to do this repetition thing. Repeat after me. Most people in the world walk through life in a walking daze. Do it again. Most people in the world walk through life in a walking daze. One last time. Most people in the world walk through life in a walking daze. Confusion, confusion. Most people in the world walk through life in a walking daze. Why do I make you repeat this stuff? Look, anytime I ask you guys to repeat stuff, it's because I want to hammer it into your head. It's called constant repetition. It's a teaching principle. Look, most people in the world walk through life in a walking daze. They don't know what their values are. They do not have a concept of their own values. They do not have a concept of who they are. They don't know what they want out of life. And they're being tinkered with by other people who do. Or worse yet, not even other people who even know what they want out of life. Just other people who are being controlled by their own egos, and they don't even know what they're doing. They don't even know what is going on. But look, before we clear this up, and before we go into that, let's think about the common misconceptions. And you guys should know these, but I love to start the seminar like this, because you guys have to have a clear-cut principle of what it is that most guys think. So let's think about this, okay? What do most guys think will get them girls? The first one. Money. Money! Money, 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 money. Money. Alright, look. You guys think money is going to get you girls, huh? Does anyone here think that? Okay, let me ask you this. Okay, let me ask you this one. Would money, say that you've already got really good skills with women, you know, you've got everything together. Would you say that money, like, you know, it's like a nice bonus, right? Like a bonus, kind of? Would you guys say that? Yeah. It's like a bonus, right? Yeah. No. Money doesn't do shit. Okay? Money is fucking useless when it comes to pickup, unless you're talking about gold diggers. You go to Las Vegas? Oh, hell yeah, money's great there, man. The local girls that live there, you know, a lot of them, I've had girls even say to me, like, honey, you're great, but unless you've got a bunch of money with you right now, you need to move on, okay? But yo, you want to date those girls? You kidding me? Alright? So yes, look, in the same way, take, you know those guys that take like massive amounts of steroids? Like the huge ones, like Jay Cutler and guys like that? Right? You know what I'm talking about? Ron Coleman, those big dudes, right? I don't want to, I'm not talking down on them at all, actually. You know what? I'll say this. I have more respect for a Jay Cutler or Ron Coleman who has dedication to go through the grind every day than just say some other dude, you know, who's just living passively. They've made their choice to do what they want with their health and whatnot. They've made that choice. I'm not judging it. But the point is, a guy like, you know, say Jay Cutler, most women, when they see that, are probably terrified. Okay? Right? But there is 1 or 2% of women who, when they see Jay Cutler, and some of them are really hot, I'm sure, like smoking, when they see Jay, it's on. Right? He just needs to go, here's my room. Or not even, like, here's the wall. Okay? Here's the bathroom. Alright? And seriously, I have no doubt. I have no doubt that those guys live in a lifestyle of sexual abundance beyond which any of us could even fathom, actually. Alright? Especially with the social proof and that kind of stuff, of being in front of audiences and all that. So look, sure, when you see a guy with money, he may appear that he's having success because he's got women up on him, right? He might have, you know, those couple girls that find men of power to be extremely attractive, like men of financial means. And there's a certain percentage of women, and some of them which are very attractive, which find that to be a turn on. Okay? Sure. Oh, got it, okay? It's true. So you see that and you think to yourself, that's the answer, man. That's my answer. I need to make more money, and then I could finally get a girl. Oh shit. No. Let me tell you, look. Not only is money not going to help you with the vast majority of girls, particularly the ones that you want. Not only that, but it's going to slow down the process of you hooking up with the girls that you want. Because I've had many a rich client, and they'll say to me, I have a variety. Here's the continuum. On the one side, you have the rich guy who comes on boot camp who just has no success at all. Why? Because not only is he a chode, and by the way, when I say chode, I love chodes. We even have t-shirts that say I love chodes on them. Okay, I'm serious. Okay, but I'm a ex-chode. Okay, so, but you know, I relate to them more than probably cool people supposedly. But anyway, look, not only is he a chode, but now he's got this fucking ego where when he talks to girls, he's like, so, I think it's 9 o'clock, right? And the girl's like, oh my god, dude, oh man, lame, all right? So not only does he have the issue that he doesn't have the actual skills with women, but he's got this big image to live up to that he can't even live up to. So look, the money's not helping him there. On the other hand, you have guys that are very successful and have money. Like guys because sometimes very, very, very advanced guys will still come take the program. Actually, maybe 1 in 5 are like that. So I've had clients that will come that will say, yeah, I'm incredibly wealthy, I live in a big mansion, and I'm good with girls. And I bring girls back, and you know what happens when I get them back to my mansion? They don't want to have sex anymore. They want me to take them on a date now. Right? They want to be my girlfriend now. Right? And suddenly, when it was all, oh yeah, let's go hook up, it's like, oh, I'm not that kind of a girl. Right? I'm the date worthy. I wasn't going to do anything. I don't have one-night stands. No. Right? And so what happened was he was about to hook up with the girl, and now she sees his house, and now it's a no-go. Alright? So look, the money is not helping you. It's not doing anything. And here's the last one. Okay, we're in Los Angeles right now. Alright? We're in LA. Love LA. Lived here for years. Alright, I live in Honolulu now. Now look, what's that?
I'm from the same island in San Luis.
Oahu?
Yeah.
Represent. Alright, good stuff. So look, LA. You ever go out to the nightclubs out here and see those rich guys with the nice tables and the girls all around? You guys see that? Yeah? Yeah, it looks pretty cool, huh? Man, is that ever intimidating when you're new? Little small town Canadian boy like me, right?
You're Canadian?
Yeah. I grew up in Ottawa and then lived in Kingston. Vancouver. Yeah. Vancouver? Nice. Cool. Represent too. Alright, so look. You go into a nightclub in LA. Man, you see those girls, you see the guys at the tables, and they're surrounded by girls, and you just look at it and you just feel like, damn, I got no chance. How could I compete with that? I don't have $200, $300 to blow on a table, or $600 or $1,000, whatever they're charging out here these days. What is it out here? That's what I have to say. That's what I have to say. $1,000. Ha ha. Okay, that's what I have to say to that. All right, unless you want it for you. Unless you have so much cash and you want it for you, and I do respect that. But if you're doing that for girls, you're gonna blow $1,000 so that you can have girls come to your table. Man, you get a lot of lap dances for $1,000. Man, and that's about what you're gonna get with that table. All right? Because guess what? Those guys are not hooking up with those girls. How do I know? Because I got friends, man, and some of them get tables, and I see what happens. You look at it, you're like, whoa. Right? Like, I've been to the table, sit down at the table, hot nightclub. Oh, damn, man. The girls come up, start like grinding around you and dancing around you and stuff like that. This is awesome. You're like, and I've even had thoughts like this. Like, even me, running RSD, I'm like, fuck all this game shit. Seriously. I'm like, this is amazing. This is awesome. Right? But no. Because look, what have you categorized yourself as? Okay? This is what I find out like an hour later when I realize it. Look more carefully. When you've got the table, you've just categorized yourself as the provider. You are the providing male. Alright? You are not... think of it this way. You guys ever heard of the lover-provider distinction as seen in the Sperm Wars?
Yeah.
Who wrote that? Sperm Wars?
Richard Dawkins.
I think Richard Dawkins wrote The Selfish Gene.
Yeah, something with Baker.
Robin Baker?
Yeah.
Alright, I just want to reference that for people at home. Okay, so look, they call that the lover-provider distinction. Okay? For those of you who are super advanced and who've heard this for years and years, don't start panicking going, oh, I thought this was the advanced seminar. What is this lover-provider covering that again? Don't worry. Just covering the basics. This will get more, your brains will be melting out of your ears soon enough, so don't panic. Now look, lover-provider distinction. I like to go over these fundamentals just because I want to build off of them. The provider guy. In the book Sperm Wars, what he basically says is real simple. Look, it's pretty... Okay, look. On one level, there's a lot of evidence that I've seen in the real world to support this. Like, so much evidence, I could almost run away in terror. But at the same time, if you start thinking like this, it's a pretty unhealthy way of thinking. Like, if you're thinking like in that Sperm Wars reality all the time, and you've got your own girlfriend and you think she's gonna get like inseminated by some dude and shit, that's a really horrible, unhealthy way of thinking. Okay? So it's like that paradox. Like, on one hand, you can know about this stuff, but on the other hand, I don't want you guys to start turning into those guys that are like, these guys in the community, they're like, I'm just so down and confused because ever since I joined the community, I think I can't even have a girlfriend because she's going to cheat on me. She's going to get sperm ward. All right, okay? All right, okay? I don't, don't go, please don't go in that head. That is a self-fulfilling prophecy waiting to happen. That's the best way I could describe that. So look, what they say in Sperm Wars is basically the girl can have a boyfriend who provides for her. He's got the money. And then, in order to get the best genetics, when she's feeling her most fertile, whenever that would be, she will go wander off and hook up with the guy who's going to give her the great, strong, alpha male, powerful kids so that she can have lots of plentiful grandchildren. Great stuff. Now look, if you're trying to use money as a way to pick up girls, where are you landing?
Provider.
Okay? Provider. All right? Which means what? How does the dating process go with a provider? Step 1, the date, which gets the kiss on the cheek at the end. She goes, oh, all right, I'll think of the queen. Right? And you go,
Yeah.
okay? Okay? Right? That's day 1. Day 2 is like, okay? Maybe on date 3 you'll get it. Maybe on month 3. Okay? Alright? Because you're dating. Okay? Do you think that there is a single girl in Los Angeles who's not had a one-night stand? Only a very religious woman has not probably had a one-night stand living in LA. Alright? And that's a huge generalization, and feminist people are going to just kill me for this someday in the future when I'm like 50. But you hear what this man said? I've never had a one-night stand, never! Okay? But look, the best way to meet a girl, as we know, is hook up with her, and then after you can build a relationship. Because once you've hooked up, you've got a couple hours together, you've spent time together, you've already shown if you have sexual chemistry or not, and it is very simple and straightforward to get a girl into relationship land from there. Alright? So look, you never want... Look, the provider, he's going to have a pretty hard time saying, no, baby, I'm the lover now. Okay? Right? All this providing, that wasn't compensating for anything. I'm a big pimp. Alright? On the other hand, it's very easy for this guy to shift into provider mode. It's like, well, we already had amazing sex. We have like incredible chemistry. By the way, I'd like to take care of you. Okay, right? So the thing is, it's very, very straightforward here. Money does not help. Why do we make money? For yourself. Of course! The guy's like, man, now that I know money doesn't get girls, I don't even want money anymore. Fuck money, right? Just want girls, man. Okay? Look, living in financial abundance is something that you do so, for yourself. And, I mean, to me, some of the greatest things I value in life tremendously, the first one is travel. All right? Travel is something I value incredibly. Beyond that is like... what else? I mean, living where I want to live. I live in very modest means, but I live where I want to live. All right? So look, having financial abundance, how about being able to take care of your family? Right? There's a lot of good reasons. Your mother, right? I want my mom to be able to come and visit me. Stuff like that. So look, obviously money is important, but it has nothing to do with it. If you're broke, all right? If you're broke, you do not need... Say that your business just crashed, all right? Your business just fell apart. That is no reason to lose your mojo and think that you can't meet girls anymore. If anything, when you're broke, the one thing you can do is meet girls. That's the one constant. That's the one thing you've always got, man, is that you can meet girls, even if you're broke. All right? That's the one constant. So money, no factor, nothing. How about the next one? What's the next most limiting belief that most guys have, that almost all guys have this stuck in their head. What's the next limiting belief? Looks. Right? Luckily, I don't have this problem because I was born incredibly good looking. Alright? Okay? But for you guys who have an issue with your looks, I'm totally fucking kidding, I just want to clarify that. Okay? For those of you guys, look, who have an issue with your looks, it doesn't mean shit. Okay? It is nothing. However, let me tell you something. For a guy who doesn't look good, this road is typically, not always, but typically a lot longer. Let me tell you why. It has nothing to do with his looks, but it does have to do with the limiting beliefs that are surrounding his looks. Okay, I had a guy in the eyes go. Okay, knocking to see if he's hungry, right? And that's the thing. It's absolutely true. Most guys who don't look good, in the same way that when I was talking to you guys earlier about going up to a girl and just saying, introducing myself and giving a compliment, and my knees started to shake, guys who don't look good tend to, not always, but oftentimes, have a difficult time piecing it into the reality that they could attract hot women even though they're not 6 feet tall or ripped or, have the King Arthur-like jawline or whatever it is. All right? They don't look Scandinavian. Sorry. Okay? So, the thing is like, this looks thing, man. All right. Now, wouldn't you guys say that although looks don't matter, having looks is like, it's like a nice bonus. Like, it helps a bit, right? Like a little bit of a bonus? Yes. No! What the fuck? Okay? It doesn't do anything. Alright? Here's what it does. If you're a chode, it helps. Being a bad-looking chode is a brutal combination. Alright? Because you're a chode and you're bad-looking. A good-looking guy, he can have some success even if he's a chode. Because there's some girls that will choose him. Some girls will say he's cute, and he will have a level of success. He'll have some. He'll also have all these other issues like, oh man, when I get older, I don't know what I'm going to do. And all these other friggin' problems. But, yes, being good looking, isn't it so nice? Because you can get results more quickly. You have, you can be a chode, and if you do enough approaches, you can get a level of skill.
What's a chode?
A chode?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the Jeffy Show?
No.
I couldn't explain it as well as Jeffy could. Well, basically a chode, if you want the simple definition, because Jeffy has like the ode to the chode kind of thing, right? It's pretty amazing, actually. I watched it, I was like, damn. But look, a chode is a guy who essentially, he doesn't have his own sense of values, he doesn't have his own sense of identity, his own sort of like, unique nature. He cares what other people think of him. He thinks that he has to run the grind of social conditioning in order to get ahead in life, in order to meet girls. And that tends to manifest itself in symptoms like buying drinks or, thinking that he needs to take a girl out for a year before they can have sex because she's a princess, while meanwhile she's having sex with 5 other fuck buddies all over town, right? So that's what, that's generally what a chode is. Now, with the looks thing, here's the thing. People generally tend to only exert as much energy as they have to. That's just an evolutionary thing. So, a guy who's really good looking, if he's going to start getting results faster, it's going to be harder for him to get the motivation to really round himself out in a nice way, right? Whereas say a guy who's maybe short, bald, not in good shape, whatever that is, because he's going to have to get his game, like his skills with women, really nicely streamlined before he starts getting success, that's a beautiful thing. It's beautiful. Because what it means is that he is going to, because you're going to get it. I mean, the path is laid out, guys. Like, the whole deal is laid out. You just got to follow the damn instructions, Once he gets it, he's going to be such a dynamic individual, right? And we can think of so many instances, like, we're in LA right now. Anyone here know Eazy-E?
Yeah.
Remember Eazy-E? R.I.P. Eazy-E, right? He was how tall? 5'3", 5'5" at the most or something, right? Fucking awesome, right? The guy had sex with so many girls that he died of AIDS. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but he had a lot of girls. All right? Now look, next. Eazy-E should have Learned about the easy condoms. All right. Now, next. Is Al Pacino a tall guy?
No.
Right? Does that affect his charisma? Don't you guys think that makes him almost more charismatic? Think about this. The fact that he's not a huge stature, to me that only makes him that much more charismatic. It just highlights it. All right? Now look, we can find countless examples like this, and you guys can do your own research on it. But when a guy's charismatic, and he has the draw of, he has that draw of attention, he's got it, man. God, this looks thing is so stupid. All right? And I see it every year that goes by. I've been doing this a long time, guys. I've been doing this over half a decade. And every year that goes by, there's some poor fellow, who just cannot accept that it's his own shortcomings, who will come onto the forum and he'll say, I know it's my looks, right? I know that looks matter. Or you get these stupid debates like, maybe it doesn't matter, but it does make a difference. I know it. I have this friend, right? No, man, it doesn't make a difference, okay? There is no difference. All right, look, it is so friggin' stupid. I can't even begin to describe it. If I could just let you guys see what I see, you would never think of it ever again. You'd never pay it a second thought ever again. Have you guys not ever been at a party where the most popular guy there, who was the center of attention, was not good looking? Has that never happened to you? Come on. Have you never been at a party? Like, is the guy who's the most popular at the party always like the 6'2" ripped, like, sexy man? Is that always what it is? Come on, man. Give me a break. Give yourself a break. It's not like that. Yes, a good-looking guy, he's going to get the gimmies, all right? He's going to get some easy ones here and there that a guy who's not so good-looking might not get. But for the most part, looks is going to have a very, very minimal factor. In fact, let me even make this really clear. In Real Social Dynamics, we have a range of instructors. You've got Hoobie. He's about 4'6", okay? Right? You've got Todd. He's about 5'7". Jeffy's about 5'7", 5'8". I'm about 5'8", 5'9". Then I have other guys in the company that are taller, and that are good looking. Let me put it to you this way. Looks has such a little factor to me that not only is like half our instructor staff like various minorities that have all these self-hating beliefs like Asian, Indian, right? We've got Indian guys in our staff, Asian guys in our staff that have amazing skills. We've got guys that are short, guys that are pudgy. But let me put it to you this way. I give it so little regard that if a guy who's 6'7" and built and muscular and good looking had the skills to become an instructor, I would hire him too. And people would say, but that doesn't look good for the company. That doesn't look good for the company if you're hiring a guy like that because no one can believe. No, looks has such a little factor in my decision-making processes on hiring an instructor that I wouldn't even not hire an instructor for being good looking because it's meaningless. Okay? There is no meaning behind it. Now let me go even further. If this is the final example, if this doesn't convince you, I don't know what will. I can be out with a guy who not only, say he's really good looking, okay? Not only is he really good looking, but he has great skills with women. Like really, really good skills. Like awesome skills with women. But if on that night, I am 1% sharper, just 1 single % sharper, I'll be the one getting the attention and getting the success. And he'll be going with the girl that's not as attractive if it's like 2 girls. All right? That's the reality of it. So think about this. Wouldn't you think that on some level, if the guy is almost as good as you, he's like 99% as good as you, and he's like supremely good looking, you think to yourself, he'll still get the girl. You would think that, but it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. If you're a little bit sharper, most of the time you'll get the girl. Now remember how I talked about anomalies? There's always like there's always the 2% of girls that just have to have the tall guy. And she will not go home with you if you're not 6'3". She just won't. She's not going to do it. She has a rule. It's in her own head. She only goes home with guys that are 6'3" or whatever it is. She only goes home with rich guys, whatever it is. And there's that 2% of girls that have that. But you want to know something? There's also 2% of girls that have an attraction for whatever weird combination you have. I've had girls come up to me and they're like, I just love redheaded guys. I love that guy from the old cop show, the redheaded guy, David Caruso. Right? Like, I just love that David Caruso. Like, starts making out. Okay, thanks. Right? Okay, that's the thing. Whatever type you are, I don't care what type. You guys remember Seinfeld? Where Marissa Tomei, she just loves fat, little, short, bald men? You guys remember that? That's real. Right? The show's not real, but stuff like that happens. Whatever you are, there's going to be that little anomaly of girls that wants that, okay? My buddy looks like a big nerd. I have a buddy who's a super nerd, all right? And he was talking to one friend of mine who's like a massive pimp. 6'3", big pimp. And she says, I want to go meet your friend. I love nerds. Okay? She says that. And he's like, for real? Right? And she's like, he's so hot, right? Fuck it, I'll give him a chance, right? Boom, throws her on. Why? Because she likes nerds. There's always going to be that little thing. But what happens, here's what happens, and drives me nuts. Guys are always looking for evidence. They're trying to be scientists, right? Guys are trying to be scientists about this, and so they'll see these little anomalies, and they'll make an entire theory of pickup about it. Yeah, I have this rich friend, and he always says, goes around, I need money. It's a money thing. All that kind of stuff. This is called social conditioning, guys. Social conditioning. Remember it. Don't buy into it.